what do you think are some of the key things that Cardus can offer thematically, things that we do here? What 2 or 3 things do you think are really primary that will excite or be able to speak into a young leader's ministry?
I think they're going to be things that reflect what young pastors are hearing from their people, the things they're struggling with. How do I, as a Christian, as a faithful Christian, understand euthanasia, while at the same time dealing with a parent who is dying from a long-term illness, or I see my child suffering? How do I deal with this new reality in this country as a Christian? So the Cardus Health program is doing a lot of work on the whole question of euthanasia, including pediatric palliative care, trying to understand that so we can take what that research program is doing and try and present that to pastors in a way that they can make use of it. I think also when it comes to educational choice, Cardus is very focused on educational choice, that there's not a one-size-fits-all approach to education. And how can we support pastors when they have parents coming to them and saying, I don't know if the public school system is really meeting my needs anymore as a Christian parent. What are my options? How do I relate to maybe new movements within education? Do I homeschool my kids? Do I send them to an independent school? Do I start my own school? Can the church be involved in that? This is work that Cardus has done over many years through our Cardus Education Survey. And so again, we can reflect that to help pastors confront some of those questions. Even questions as fundamental as economic issues. How do I get my family through these difficult economic times? So the work that we do through the Cardus Work and Economics program on the nature of employment, the nature of labor, how do we relate to money, that are profoundly rooted in Christian social teaching, and to give pastors again some touch points and talking points as well that they can use to engage their people on these questions. So again, really it's about bringing what we do at Cardus to Christian leaders, especially young pastors, in a way that is useful to them, and to make sure that that's also part of a broader conversation that we can have with them and engage with them.
And there's a couple of other areas which you are very familiar with. One is religious freedom issues, which you have done pioneer work coming out of your role as the ambassador for religious freedom back a few years ago. But that's still a core interest of yours, just the ability to speak into the public square, the ability to have not just the opportunity, but the responsibility to do so. And how do you navigate that in a world that's crushing us? The other one is marriage and family issues, and sexuality issues that come onto that. There's like an octopus of stuff that's crowding in on some traditional Christian teaching and challenging us at different levels. And it's good to have perspective on that. And we do amazing research, fundamental research, on how these things are affecting the family, how they're affecting marriage issues and relationships in general. And that's just a wide-ranging discussion, but we do really good, excellent work in that area.
And fundamentally, it all does come down to freedom to live out a Christian faith. And I think sometimes we think that religious freedom is simply about the freedom to worship. It's the freedom to do what we do on a Sunday or another day of the week in the four walls of the church. But that's a very limited understanding of religious freedom. Unfortunately, I think it's an understanding that increasingly our political leaders and our courts have. But really, a lot of the work that we're doing at Cardus points to the broader understanding of religious freedom, which is to live out your faith in how you live your life, in how you live a public faith, in how you engage people of other faiths, in how you speak about the role that faithful people play in society, in terms of being involved in all aspects of society, healthcare, the law, social services. Cardus has done a lot of work through the HALO project, through looking at the impact of faith communities in terms of the overall GDP of the country. So again, these are perspectives and also data and analysis that we can bring to Christian leaders to again help them be informed about what is the nature of faithful presence and how to promote that, and also how do you speak to your elected officials, your local city councillor, your member of provincial parliament, your MLA, your MP, about this is who faith communities are, this is what we do. So also helping to provide hopefully a bit of an apologetic to say this is why you need to listen to us. We are doing things that government simply cannot do. And that is the public living out of religious freedom and the responsibilities that come with having freedom of religion. And so I think that's also a really important conversation that we need to continue to have, I think, to really shore up the confidence of Christian leaders to engage the public square in humility, but also with confidence and fundamentally with joy and hope.